You have a brain, apparently, but most traders would rather skip a video like this and go watch a TikTok strategy video. And that's why they'll keep failing. But if you're still here, then you're one of the few traders that are actually going to understand more about trading and have a higher chance of winning. Inside my course, the Inner Edge Pro, I actually have a module for how to create routines and rewire your brain so that you stop blowing your account. I'll give you a taste of it in this video, so make sure you watch this to the end. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to talk about your prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. Those are two parts of your brain which actually control the way you make decisions. Decisions in your life and decisions in your trading. So this is going to be an important video because it's going to help you understand everything about the way why you do what you do and why you repeat the same mistakes and also why you tilt. So I want you to think about a time when you went on a tilt, the last tangent that you went on, or just when you were feeling exhausted or burnt out from trading. And just imagine that time. Try to remember it, okay? It could have been yesterday, it could have been last week, but every single trader has gone through this roller coaster, this emotional blow up. So basically, what happened there was you were trading from your amygdala. The amygdala is the part of your brain that is a fight or flight emotional response. So your brain, your decision making was hijacked by your amygdala. Your amygdala is the thing that causes you to have impulsive decision making, to have emotional, irrational decisions. When you do things and you don't know why, you feel possessed. This is the thing. You feel possessed. It's your amygdala that is in control. And so when you understand this, you're going to know why you're doing what you're doing. Okay? And basically, you should not be trading at this point. Okay? When your amygdala takes over your brain, you make bad decisions. You make poor quality decisions. So, as a trader, we need to understand when the amygdala kicks in. Okay? Now, this is important. This is the important part, to know when the amygdala is about to kickstart and take over your brain and then cause you to go on a tilt. Because before the amygdala activates, there is another part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. Now, these are two separate parts, but they go hand in hand. So what happens is the prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that is making rational decisions on your behalf. And then the amygdala makes the irrational decisions. So the way it works, now this gets very interesting. The way it works is that the prefrontal cortex is making decisions earlier on before the amygdala. Okay, so you have glucose, you have calories, their energy. This energy is used for the prefrontal cortex. Okay? Once you have made decisions, all the important decisions with your prefrontal cortex, your fuel, your reserves, your energy will be drained. And you only have a certain amount of fuel per day for the prefrontal cortex to make those important decisions. Okay? Once that fuel runs out, once you finish the reserves for that day, you're no longer able to make good decisions. That's when the amygdala takes over. Now it's the lizard brain that is in control. Your CEO human brain is now exhausted. It's tired. Okay, so every time you open the chart or you have to make a decision about your setup, about your trading, it uses a little bit of that prefrontal cortex fuel. Okay, does that make sense? Every decision that you make reduces the amount of energy from that allocation. This is why I always say you should just make one trade a day, because then that technically is just one decision, right? That's why day traders that have 5 trades per day don't last. They don't do so well because they are drained. By the time they get to the second or third trade, they're emotionally drained. Their decision-making processes are now depleted. They're not making the best decisions anymore. And at that point, if they take a loss, they're exhausted with the good decision, with the ability to make good decisions. The amygdala takes over. Now it's all impulsive gambling. Does that make sense? You have to understand this because this is the way your brain chemistry is working every day, okay? And it resets every day. So I want to make an example for you to think about, okay? This is why the best traders in the world are generally in the USA. Now think about what I'm saying for a second, because the New York Open is in the morning, okay? So that is the time when the brain has the most fuel because you've had a full night sleep, you just woke up, and now your prefrontal cortex is full. It's fully charged. So New York Open is in the morning, and the New York Open also, by coincidence, happens to be the most volatile, highest liquidity session throughout the 24-hour day. It's basically the easiest and the best session to trade. So the New York traders, or the US traders trading the New York Open, have two things going for them in their advantage. One is the liquidity, the volatility, and then two is their clarity in thinking. So their brain is operating at its peak. By lunchtime, they've used all that calorie, all those energy, that glucose, right? Now, the PM traders they don't perform as well because they've used, people that try to trade through to the PM don't do themselves any service. They actually perform worse. Now, so that's the first thing that I want you to think about, right? And you know it's true. Now, this is why Asian traders or European traders don't perform so well during the New York session, because for the Asian trader like myself, trading in Asia, the New York session is the end of the day. So you can imagine the Asian trader trying to trade a New York Open at the end of their day, where all the heavy lifting decision-making processes is already depleted. They're basically trading with the amygdala. It's all impulse. So they get to the end of their day, which is the beginning of the New York Open, and they're tired, they're exhausted. It's all emotional at that point, right? And this is why I don't trade New York, because I know that personally for me, there are a couple of reasons, but My main reason is that it's nighttime for me and I have insomnia. I have issues with sleep. Okay, sleep is a big thing for me. So at the end of my day, I want to be turning off my monitors, winding down, reading a book, relaxing, putting on candles, turning down the lights, and getting ready to go to bed on time so that I can get a good night's sleep and then wake up fresh for the next day. That's important to me. So that's why I don't trade New York, because it's late in the evening. But then also the other reason is because my prefrontal cortex is depleted. It's the end of the day. So not only am I going to disrupt my sleep pattern and then be worse the next day, now I'm trying to trade on an empty tank. So no matter what I do, New York is going to be a disaster for me, as much as I love the New York Open. So if I really wanted to trade New York, I basically have to move location. So what is my next option? Well, I'm left with the London session, which is the next best thing, and I have to make the most out of that. Okay? But if you are a Asian trader and you want to trade the New York session, here is my advice for you. Okay? And this will make sense to you or not, but hopefully it does. Okay? And this will help you a lot. The best thing that you can do is, if you're an Asian trader, is to wake up in the morning, your local time in the morning, okay? And put 1 hour aside and plan your trades for the New York session for the end of the day. So basically what you're doing is you are making the most important decisions first thing in the day. And that most important decision, if you're a trader, is your trading plan. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is wake up and make your trading plan. So that means marking out all your points of interest, where your pullbacks are, where your liquidity is, wherever, and where you want price to come back into before taking an entry. You have to have this plan clear in the morning before you do anything else, when you're clear, when your mind is at its best. So now you have a clear roadmap of what you're going to do. So then now all you got to do is go about your day and then show up at night for the New York Open and execute. You don't have to try to make a plan at the end of the day. You already have your plan. All you got to do now is just show up, and if everything lines up and your checkbox is good, take the trade. Don't have to think about it. You've already done the heavy lifting. You just have to show up and take the trade and walk away. That's my advice. If you're a European or an Asian trader, that's probably the best thing you can do. Instead of trying to go about your whole day dealing with all the nonsense that you have to deal with in the day, using all your mental capabilities and energy throughout the day, and then come and try to make a decision at the end of the day and build a trading plan at the end of the day to trade the New York Open. That is going to be a disaster for you. You're going to be emotional. You're going to be trading basically like a monkey. Okay? You don't want to do that. So that is my advice. Okay? But basically, you have to understand the difference between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. And they work side by side. It's always the prefrontal cortex kicks in first, uses up all the good energy. When that is done, you have the reserve backup, which is the amygdala, and that's basically to keep you out of trouble, right? That's the lizard brain, the thing that makes you have the fight or flight, makes you run away from danger. That's the amygdala. That's how the brain is basically built to keep itself out of trouble. So once you understand this, then you will know, depending wherever you are in the world, how to structure your day or how to even pick the best assets to trade. Right? So like for me, I know that I have to pick the most volatile or most liquid assets to trade for the London session. Right? And if you want to trade the Tokyo session, then you might have to pick things like oil or gold or maybe USD JPY or AUD USD or maybe the New Zealand pairs. Those move during the morning session in Asia. So it really comes down to understanding the best time of day for you to trade, which is basically first thing in the morning when your brain is clear, when you're sharp, when you're fully focused. This is the time you want to maximize and make all the heavy lifting decisions. So you have to understand that and then know where you are in the world and when your morning aligns with what session or the closest to what session, and then pick the pairs, the asset that's going to perform the best within that session that aligns with you. Because, right, you need to understand how important this is. Because if your brain is running on empty, you're going to be emotional. You're just going to make bad decisions anyway. You may as well not trade. So this is an important video for you, right? If this resonates with you, then let me know in the comments. Seriously, I want to know if you've ever felt this. And I know you have, but let me know if you've felt tired, exhausted, like you're on your fifth trade and you're trying to catch up and you're trying to fix, and then you got your ego to deal with. That's all going to add up. It's going to stack up. This is how you tilt, right? So it's important to know this. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and like and subscribe. Drop your comments below. It's going to help boost the algorithm. If you want to go deep on the course, check out the first link. That's the full psychology course. So we have the routines, we have everything you need to know about psychology and how to fix your subconscious programming so that you can actually do and perform at your best. Okay? Trading is 90% psychology. It's all here. It's all mental. Okay? So it's not just knowing about it. It's understanding how the brain works. Everything. Okay? You need to know everything about the way you work, the way when you work, how you work the best. Okay? And then your strategy. Right? This is what separates the top 1% traders from the 99 that keep failing, because they have their TikTok brain and they don't even know how to focus on anything, and they're all over the place. This is the true distinction. This is the difference. Okay? So I hope that you found this video was interesting to you. Give it a like and share it. And until the next video, you're on your own. Take care now. Goodbye.